The trouble with the feds is that this is their responsibility. They have to win. Anything going wrong has to be their fault. These fucking idiot cops working for a child molester. I don't know who the hell's supposed to be in charge. Why he thought he wanted a piece of meat. So democracy has the law, and then the church has, well, religion. You want somebody to build a road through your sleepy bullshit village so bad. I got my skull fractured a few years ago. Drove myself to the hospital. I mean, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, communist, whack. Fuck. One of those guys was a Canadian trying to bullshit me about the U.S. military. And I mean, the Islander, you know, he had a valid beef. I didn't know about it. We have a valid beef with no good reason to fuck the guy from New York, except I told these fucking child molesting deputies a bullshit story, and I said, we're gonna let the church sort it out. I'm laying there bleeding all over myself. The doctor's trying to glue my face meat back together, and then they went and busted him anyway, because they already knew. I didn't say which church. Guess it was yours. Guy at the coffee shop named his signature drink the Black Eye. It was a fractured skull, my friend. They don't call them Canucks for nothing. Some Christian fundamentalist trying to tell me the world, the planet Earth is only 5,000 years old. Got Pakistanis buying, trading, selling and exporting little blonde kids right next door. Flat Earth does not work. That's the whole point of it. They find some felon, some retard, and okay, you're a Christian. Can't go around whipping something up and, you know, tying up loose ends and come find out. Oops. I wrote a letter to Donald Trump and I went to Mar-a-Lago. Like, what the fuck is your problem? The doorman was an East African, not a Ugandan, not a Rwandan, a Somalian, an Equatorial Horn African. Every time I call there, it's a Haitian host that is telling me she can't take a message. Now, I'm not making any official allegations, but as a soldier and a Christian holy warrior, it appears to be a human shield situation. My question is, if a religious assertion is being made by the Haitians, why doesn't New Zealand own Mar-a-Lago? We're just getting our asses kicked, and these fucking dumb dickheads are helping the oppressors. You're getting bad intel. It's called the gay mafia. Mafia means family. They're already lying. I don't like none of you. Prison let you out on a work release, and you go and do horrible things. Fucking idiot cops, they don't care. The authority's legitimate. They just get paid. They have a gun and a badge. People do what they say. Most people. I'm not an anarchist. I believe in a strong central government that is well funded enough to just leave me the fuck alone. They're not competing with like Canadians dressed as American cops to rob and rape and blame the Irish. The military has to prosecute stolen valor. But where do you draw the line? I don't know, somewhere between last Emperor of China and last King of Scotland? Jesus Christ. Everybody else, like, it's all one way or the other. Whatever scares the peasants, it's all that works. Because you're not a real cop. Podunk hillbilly bullshit doing that, and then fucking Canadians come down here and pretend to be feds. You have to prosecute. Not just impersonation of an officer, which is a lot more common than the news would let on. The peasants don't know any better. The army's not going around and trapping your fucking kids. We don't get a cut of that. Kids live in like a cops and robbers flat earth fantasy world these days. Just having a job is one thing. If you're 20, $15 from the IRS to pretend to be a cop, that's not the same kind of having a job. The news thinks that freedom of the press means freedom to scream at the president. Sign this or you don't get reelected. Well, what's it say? No time for that. No, media includes all sorts of, you ain't the boss of me. The doctors, the journos. Why can't you behave yourselves like Hollywood? Our sweet, innocent little angels. At least they're earners. When I say I'm worth more than your whole goddamn outfit, I'm not talking necessarily, I mean, push comes to shove. So what we're going to do is I'm going to sue the doctor who ripped off the Federal Depositors Insurance Corporation. I mean, Humana ripped off, but he ripped off Humana and they ripped off we the people. So we're going to sue him. Humana can go fuck themselves. Walmart's like a human shield operation. Little old ladies working for the Taliban. Oh, is it France? I'm so sorry. The French Taliban. Why would you not prosecute stolen valor? See, in order to be a police officer in America, in order to threaten us with the death penalty if we whack you, the FBI has to say, yes, that's a police officer. They have to know who the hell you are. I don't give a shit what the unwashed masses voted for. It does not supersede the Bill of Rights. Timothy McVeigh blew up an FBI building. And it's not a whole lot of arguing with it because it should have been their job to do something about it. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, he probably should have gone for the radio station. You know, the coroner needs to be more afraid of us than he is of them. Holy war is not every man for himself. It's not the Crusades either. The police have to fight the holy war. I was born here. There's going to be a case. Heads are going to roll. There might be a war. I don't know. But we have due process, due diligence, and then, you know, the international banking community doesn't have a leg to stand on. They can't tell us no. Should be able to avoid a war. See, war is the inevitable outcome of failure to communicate a difference of opinion. Cavalry, we can only promise that the message gets delivered. If the recipient address is somewhere on the flat side of the planet, no promises as to their response. But when I sent a letter to Washington about the Reagan assassination trying to set me up in Florida, you know, I expect some kind of a courtesy. It's unusual. 10 times the cop you'll ever be. You know, I can't make any promises about this case financing your campaign. I can promise that whoever is financing it lets you read what you're signing. My ambitions are not worldly. I want sustainability. I want a foothold for the church. I want defenses for the South Africans to where their authorities aren't like, oh, we're neutral. You're Russian and Chinese at the moment. And that's all, you know, that's my bailiwick. It only goes to Jerusalem. Care less what goes on in the devil's playground. The church has better men than I. West of Jerusalem, where the sun rises, all this belongs to Jesus. I don't know what to tell you. First, do no harm, or I'm so sorry you're not pleased with your own handiwork. Prosecute stolen valor. Make it a little easier to tell who the attackers are. Don't ask, don't tell. We're the Russians. You're not the Russians. You're the gay mafia, as it stands.